Okay, so what do you think about? I know you've done a lot of work with. Let me get this microphone on. All right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Monday edition of the BFTAA and More Show. Got to make sure all my channels are up. We're broadcasting live from KUAW Radio Studios at 4510 East Linwood Boulevard, located in the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. And we've got a lot of things going on today, a lot of things we want to talk about. It was a good weekend, had a great time. The weather was nice, and today it turns out to be raining. So go figure, but that's Kansas City weather for you. Got to bring up my Twitter feed right quick so we can broadcast to the people listening to us on Twitter also, because we're missing them right now. We want to make sure that we get the Twitterverse involved in our conversation. So bear with me as I get with this. Now, you can pick us up live right now on Facebook, YouTube. We're bringing up Twitter. You can also get the audio side of us on Get Me Radio, on your Roku device, on your Apple Fire, on the TuneIn app, on Online Radio Bot, on Radio Garden, on our website, www.kuaw.org. So there's a lot of ways to listen to us. And even if you have one of those smart speakers like a Google or Amazon, tell it to play KUAW Radio, and we'll come in on that also. So we're all over the board. We're trying to make sure that we can reach all of our listeners, and we're so glad that you are tuning in to us today. You can also text any questions or that come up, or comments or things you want to talk about. Put them up on the page. I can see my Facebook page. So if you're watching us on Facebook, all you got to do is text into there, and I will see it and try and answer your question or whatever it is that you bring up. So be sure and get with us. We're all over, and we're okay. There we go. Got the radio going twice here. We're doing good. So we're up on Twitter now. That was the main thing. Was to make sure that we got the Twitterverse involved on this, and that they can listen and check us out. So we're broadcasting on all cylinders right now. Let's see. That is at KUAW Radio. And we're also at BFTAA. All right. All right. REDI. I guess if I could spell radio right, I'd be okay. And we're live. We'll tweet that out. Okay. So as we get here, the BFTAA, Black Family Technology Awareness Association, and the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center come together to form this radio station, which is Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, KUAW. So I want to tell you a couple of things that happened. We're going to have a little bit of more information on it, but we're going to talk about our robotics program. Our kids are working in VEX and Lego robots, and they're getting very enthusiastic in the work that they are doing. We're also going to talk to you about the new credit union that opened in the Linwood Shopping Center. We'll mention that, and we're going to go over, as usual, the things that are going on in NASA, because we always like to talk about our things that we're doing to get people involved in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So as we want you to get involved in that, we're going to bring you information from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration and others. We're going to talk about a NSBE program that's going to be going on later this week. But we want you to get your family involved, get your kids involved in that STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and look at careers that way, look at educational pathways and engineering, science, math. All of those things are going to be beneficial to not just the individual, but to our whole community. We need more engineers in our community. Engineers help solve problems. That's what they're trained in doing. So we need more engineers because we've got problems in our community that need solving. So that's one of the things we're working on. Also, we'd like for you, as I say, you can, our link is up so you can get us on the chat. If you want to chat right now, all you got to do is text it in to us and we can chat with you on Facebook. Go to KUAW-radio, and that feed is up right now, as you just saw go across the screen. KUAW-radio. Type in there, and your questions will pop up on the screen. We can see them. Your name won't be shown on that. You'll remain anonymous. It just says a user, but it doesn't put your name out. So you can type right into Facebook, and everybody will see it. So we'll go from there with it. So as we get ready to roll forward, let's go on now and see what's going on this week at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, better known as NASA. And let's see if I can pull that up and we'll check out what's happening this week at NASA.
A new look at a star factory, practicing moonwalks here on Earth, and an earthly assist for a NASA spacecraft. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. A new Webb Space Telescope image of the iconic Pillars of Creation, a star factory of sorts, is visually stunning and could help us better understand how stars form within clouds of gas and interstellar dust. An analog mission this month to practice lunar operations near Flagstaff, Arizona will provide crucial data for future Artemis moon missions. Learn more about analog missions at nasa.gov/analogs. Our Lucy spacecraft swung back by Earth on October 16th, exactly 1 year after its launch. The close flyby also gave Lucy the first of several gravity assists it needs from Earth to reach the never-before-visited Trojan asteroids that share an orbit with Jupiter. Lithium-ion battery packs installed in our all-electric X-57 Maxwell aircraft successfully powered the plane's motors. This important milestone brings the experimental plane a step closer to first flight. Former NASA astronaut Jim McDivitt, who commanded the Gemini 4 and Apollo 9 missions, died on October 13th. Jim McDivitt was 93 years old. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, follow us on the web at nasa.gov/twan.
All right. So that's what's going on at NASA. And I'm not going to come back visually right now. We're going to go right into Space to Ground with NASA. So stay tuned now for Space to Ground.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Sandra Jones. 4 humans are back on planet Earth after a science and research mission aboard the International Space Station, yet the investigations continue aboard the orbiting laboratory. After spending 170 days in space, NASA's SpaceX Crew 4 mission splashed down off the coast of Jacksonville, Florida on Friday after undocking from the International Space Station just 5 hours previously. Following splashdown, NASA astronauts Kjell Lindgren, Bob Hines, Jessica Watkins, and European Space Agency astronaut Samantha Cristoforetti flew back to Houston and were greeted by staff and well-wishers. It will take some time before we have results from the science conducted during Crew 4's mission, but results from previous missions are enlightening us all the time. Imagine being able to have a portable device that could allow astronauts to self-diagnose medical conditions while traveling through deep space. This may sound like science fiction, but in a recent technology demonstration aboard the space station, experts from NASA's Exploration Medical Capability Team successfully tested the R-Health One biomedical analyzer, which is a device that uses laser technology to diagnose illness or injury. The device streams real-time vital signs to the astronaut and to the medical team on Earth. The crew member collects a single sample, such as blood or saliva, and inserts it into the device for further analysis. Results can be communicated to the astronaut and doctors back on Earth within minutes. As NASA prepares to send astronauts further into deep space for longer durations, managing and maintaining their health is a top priority. Successful tests like this one get us closer to designing medical tools that will accompany our explorers on their journey. Itching to hear a first-person perspective of launching into space? Then be sure to listen to this week's episode of Houston, We Have a Podcast, which features NASA astronaut Frank Rubio, who launched to the International Space Station just last month. In the episode, Rubio takes us behind the scenes of what it's like to be an astronaut, launch into space, experience microgravity for the first time, and even what sleeping is like while floating. You can find this and other NASA podcasts by going to nasa.gov/podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud. And that's Space to Ground for this week. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
All right. Yeah, that's Space to Ground brought to you from NASA. NASA always is giving us some good information. One of the things that our kids like to hear about is things that are going on in space or with robotics, things that are flying, being created. So I like to bring that to you so you can see some of the things that are happening. It's your tax dollars at work at NASA, so we are owners of that was just shown. So stay tuned, but they're always doing things. That was interesting with the plane that they powered the motors with lithium-ion batteries so that you may have a plane that can fly before long without gas, that have enough power coming from batteries to actually fly. And I think they've done that before, but that looks like a more conventional aircraft. They've used some really specially modified aircraft. But as they get to using more electrical power, that's something that's using renewable energy that can help, not get rid of, but lessen the climate change that we're having. Those are things that we have to look for, just like driving hybrid cars or electric vehicles. All of that's good, but we also have to generate more electricity from non-carbon generating sources. So when they burn coal or burn oil to generate electricity, we're really not saving as much, although we probably are saving some as opposed to all the individual automobiles that are driving. But it'd be better if we have water-generated hydroelectric sources, wind electricity, and also solar electricity. If we had those in abundance, that we wouldn't even have to burn coal or oil in order to have the electricity we need. Because as we go to more electrical vehicles and using more electric everything, we still have to have some power for it. So it's not that we're going power free. That we'll need, but we will have to see if we can get it from cleaner, renewable sources that could be more beneficial and help the planet out at the same time. So, yeah, those are things that we look at. Another thing in the black community and in the urban community is we've had problems I guess it would be problems with predatory lending. The loan sharks that from the old days in the movies that would break your legs and your arms and you borrow money from them were largely replaced by these payday loan companies that charge exorbitant rates for money that you borrow from. You may can get $40 to $100 to $500 for a week. But if you don't pay it back in the week, that interest rate is really high. And even within the week, you may pay 20%, 25%. You may pay something astronomical. I went into one of those stores that did that payday loaning and saw on the sign they had in big letters that the annual percentage rate was over 400% on a loan. That was printed on the sign in the store in big letters. So you may think that, okay, you can borrow this money real cheap from them. But if you're paying them throughout the year on a loan, you're going to pay 400%. So that means if you borrow $500, you're going to be paying $2,000 back for $500 if you take a year to pay it back. That is a lot of money. That is you may think nothing of it, but if you had to borrow $500, which means you didn't have it, having to come up with $2,000 over a year, you're just digging a hole. Well, in order to help that, we have banks, you have lending institutions, but a lot of banks have pretty stringent regulations on borrowing money, how much money it takes to open an account, fees and other charges that can really make banks sometimes unaffordable for people or not as affordable as they maybe could be. So an alternative to that is a owner operator, community owned or investor owned money systems, and that's what credit unions are. The people that put their money in credit unions become shareholders. They actually put their money in shares to the credit union. And the credit union a lot of times pays a decent dividend, sometimes even better than the bank, but they usually have friendlier terms to their shareholders because those are owners of the institution. They want to keep you there because that's how they exist. And so that's a good way to have an extra money source that's not as bad as payday loan people, that they will make loans to the individual and make them at reasonable rates. So one of the news flashes that I had is that of all the credit unions, and if you work on your job, there may be a credit union, or your mother or father had a credit union, you're a member of this credit union. Well, now, in the urban core, where we never had a credit union that the shareholders were mainly the minority community, there's a new credit union that was opened this Saturday up at the Linwood Shopping Center, and it was spearheaded by members of the National Black United Front and its other community members that are in there that have opened up We Development Credit Union. So it's going to help the development in the city. The We Development Credit Union will be opening in December, and they had their ribbon cutting Saturday. I went out there, KUAW was out there, and did a interview with the people behind it and had some photos and stuff. So I wanted to bring you a little bit of information or a little bit of the interview that I had with, I forget her name, Tung Yu, I want to say, and Ajama Webster. Spoke to them briefly about it because I got up there late, time was running out. But anyway, I did get to talk with them. So here's the interview that we had with two of the original founders or the original group. He said of all the people that started, there's only 3 people left in this organization that start, 3 of the original people. They've got a board and they've got a bunch of people, but only 3. It took them 14 years to get this thing started. So let's check it out. There we go. Okay, so what do you think about, I know you've done a lot of work with this, so how do you feel about this day?
This is a great day. This is the greatest day. And along the way for over 14 years, so many times I thought that we were not going anywhere. I was going to give up, but thanks to Ajamu, and he was always there. He held the board up, and he found good people to be on the board, and we just move along. He dragged us all the way, passing the pass line, and we are here today.
Excuse me, though, and your name is?
My name is Jungpu.
And John is one of the original members of the working committee, the board, to create We Development Credit Union. There are only 3 of us left.
Of the original
group.
Yeah.
And Joan is one of them. Joan, D, and myself.
I know it's been a long time and stuff, so I'm so proud that you guys have been able to take care of it.
Yes.
So what are your plans? Who are you looking at bringing in? I know you're not opening yet, but when is the opening day and what's going to happen?
December 5th is the opening day, and we're looking to bring in the community, and all you have to do is live between Independence Avenue, 85th Street, Truce, and 435. Either live there, work there, or worship there, and you can be a member of We Development Credit Union.
All right.
And so we want you in.
Well, KUAW Radio, the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, will definitely be a part of this.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
All
you.
righty.
All right.
All right. So that was my interview with, I believe her name was Chung Yu, and please forgive me, I didn't pronounce that right. And Mr. Ajamu Webster, he's the president, or was past president of the National Black United Front. He also was a business owner. He had the Du Bois Consultants that's on Swope Parkway, about 57th and Swope Parkway. that's been there for years, and he's sold the business, or he's left the business, him and his wife, and they're actually going to be moving. Let me get my picture back up here. Him and his wife, Kenda, and they're actually going to be moving to Ghana, West Africa. So that was another event that we went to. That was Saturday that they opened the We Development Credit Union, which had been in the works for 14 years. Can you imagine having to work on something 14 years before it comes to fruition? 14 years. And these were people that weren't getting paid to work on it, but wanted to have a credit union in the community that was owned and ran by the community. Some of the people you saw in the picture was the new branch manager. They have African-American board members, the branch manager, the credit union manager. All of those are African-Americans. It's located in the Linwood Shopping Center. That's on Prospect between 31st Street and Linwood. So when they open December the 15th, I would hope that you would consider opening an account there. Support businesses in the community. That's where you'll get people that will understand, be able to make loans for home repair, for car repair, things like that at a reasonable rate right in your community. So, and it provides jobs for people working there. So that's something that you have to look at. If we want to build a community, if we want to build that village, if we want to build, everybody says when we used to own stuff. Well, we can't go by what we used to do. It's what we're doing today. And the We Development Credit Union is definitely a step in the right direction for us to have more self-determination, because if you can control your finances, if you can control your education, those are the things that you have to have in order to be self-sufficient. Otherwise, you're always at the whim of somebody else. So that's great. As I said, they opened on Saturday, and then Sunday they had a going away party down at the Black Archives on what's that, 17th, I believe, 17th and Woodland, or Highland. I don't know what the address is, the front of the building is, but they had a going away party for the Websters, Jamo and his wife Kenda, because they're going to be moving to Ghana. They're going to Ghana and work on a project there. So it's not like they're retiring for good from everything. They're getting ready to go back to work, which is, some people are just going to be workers. They're going to be helping out. They're going to be doing positive things in the community, because that's what they're about. And the Websters are definitely about that. And those are a couple of people that have definitely been about the community. And he talked last night or yesterday afternoon about him and his wife Kenda coming to Kansas City. They have no relatives here. They're from Los Angeles, California. He came here with a job from his job and worked at a couple of companies here, but they put down roots and made their home here in Kansas City for years, from in the 80s to now, and raised their family and have done a lot of business things. If you've ever been to KUAW, the National Black United Front under Jamo's leadership started that Kwanzaa event down at the gym. They started before the gym was even renovated, but it's down at the gym now. It's been going on for 30-something, almost 40 years, I believe. And if you haven't been, this year at Kwanzaa time, you want to make sure you get down there. It's really a fun time, but it's also a time of coming together of the community. The community comes together for a Kwanzaa event, and it's a time to kind of rejuvenate yourself. It kind of fires you up for the rest of the year, that you come and celebrate with like-minded people and celebrate Kwanzaa. So if you haven't ever been this year, make sure you get down to Kwanzaa. It'll be open. The pandemic precautions are down. You can wear a mask if you want to, but come to Kwanzaa. You might look for the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and KUAW. We should have a table down at the Kwanzaa event this year. So we'll be down there and we'll be ready to meet with you. We want to wish the Websters much love and great success in whatever it is that they're going to work on over in Ghana. Hopefully one day we'll be able to go over there and visit with them, and I can bring you a report back live from Ghana, you know. So that's something that may be happening in the future. But thank you, Ajamu. Thank you, Kenda, for all that you have done, and I know all that you continue to do for Kansas City and for the black community. Thank you very much. All right. So that's what was going on there. Now, there's some more things going on in the city. Sometimes you hear about them, sometimes you don't. They kind of sneak stuff in on you, sort of by stealth. Well, the National Society of Black Engineers are having an event to help recruit students into the sciences. And let me see if I've got that here. Yes. So we want to make sure to support them. The National Society of Black Engineers is a student-led group. So university students, college students that are engineering students help each other, support each other, and there's an alumni association of people that have been part of the National Society of Black Engineers, and it is a great group for working with. They even have NSBE Junior chapters here in Kansas City and all across the country that you can get your kids involved. We're actually we're going to be investigating if the BFTAA wants to start a NSBE Junior chapter, but I know there was one at Harvest Church. There's also one down at Esteem Village. William Wells down there, he's been one of the pioneers of the NSBE Junior chapters in the Kansas City area, especially out in the community, not associated with schools or anything like that. So you want to go out this weekend. Friday, there's going to be an event so you can go out and learn about NSBE and take your kids. They're going to have stuff there about science and engineering that you want to check out. So let me show you a little bit about this night at the museum. If I can get it started here.
Business, but those skills that you learn are incredibly crucial to help you in your everyday life.
Everything on it. Here we go. Night at the museum.
Things like building your own business, but those skills that you learn are incredibly crucial to help you in your everyday life. Does anybody know the chemical composition of water? I heard it. Go ahead, say it louder. H2O, absolutely. So what does H2O represent? All right, I see your eyes now. Okay, so yes, that means.
All right, so that was kind of quick and zoomed past you. I had to bring the picture back up, but Night at the Museum is going to be going on at the Prairie Fire Museum, and that is located. I did if you go to our Facebook page, I actually have it up there. Where you can maybe see it being still. Let me bring it up here so I can get it for you. Okay, it's Friday, October the 28th. That's this Friday coming up from 5:30 to 8 p.m. It's a Kansas City STEM outreach event, engineering outreach. So they're looking for engineers out there. They're going to be doing that. And the Kansas City NSBE professionals are behind this event that's coming out there. It's a family fun night at the museum, Friday, October the 28th, from 5:30 to 8 p.m. So take your family out there, or if you're nerdy like I am, just go out there yourself to enjoy it. But you don't want to miss this. The Prairie Fire Museum is at 5801 West 135th Street in Overland Park, Kansas. So Friday night, 5:30 to 8. I know if you're working, you may just get a chance to get home, change clothes, and head out there. There's a lot of eating places when you get out that way, so you'll be able to get something to eat at Prairie Fire. It's a little shopping center right around it, or somewhere in between your house and there for sure. But it's at 5801 West 135th Street. And if you're interested in science and technology, if you're interested in getting your kids involved in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, these are the type of events that you want to go to. Sometimes they don't have the promotion that everything else has, that you know, a lot of things vie for your attention on the weekend, and sometimes they put big money behind things that aren't going to help you in the future, that make you feel good right now. You go to a movie, you enjoy it right now and stuff. But if you get involved in STEM, if you get your child involved in STEM, that could be something that they'll enjoy for the rest of their lives. So let me show you that little clip again. But if you want to see more of it or find out more about it, contact either the Prairie Fire Museum or the National Society of Black Engineers Professionals. They didn't have a number up there for you, but I'm going to run this one more time. Go to either my personal page or the Black Family Technology Awareness page or the KUAW radio page. We got it up on all of those pages. You can see the information. And let's see if that will run one more time.
You can even do things like building your own business, but those skills that you learn are incredibly crucial to help you in your everyday life.
This event is free. Don't cost you a dime.
Composition of water. I heard it. Go ahead. Say it louder. H2O. Absolutely. So what does H2O represent?
Getting into some chemistry there.
All right. I see all Einsteins. Okay. So yes, that means
That's the event. Be sure and get out there this weekend. Night at the museum, family fun night. So there's going to be a lot of science, a lot of hands-on stuff going on. It should be a great time for you and the family. Go out to and enjoy. So yeah, we're trying to bring you a little bit of news and information. We do that from time to time here at KUAW Radio, and it's been a lot of things that are happening. Now, the other thing that I didn't tell you about, or I've told you about before, but our youth robotics program is well underway. We're going, but we're still taking on new students. So we're going to do that for another couple of weeks before the students get too far into their robotics build. But if you have a student from 8 to 12 years or 9 to 12 years old, they can get into our Lego program. And our Lego program is working on a challenge called Super Powered. And they're building robots and going to do missions designed around power, about how we use power, how we can use power better. And they'll learn a whole lot about how power is generated, different ways of generating power and all that. But their robot will have to do some missions. So the youngsters were working on them. They're designing. They were researching and getting things together Saturday when I was watching the coach with them. Go to our Facebook page for the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. I've been posting pictures every week showing the progress that the students are making. So from 9 to 12-year-olds, they can get into our Lego program. And from 13 through 18, we have the VEX robotic program. The VEX robotics program has a game that they've got to build their robot to play called Spin Up. So their robot is actually going to have to throw a Frisbee into a target. If you're familiar with Frisbee golf, or FOF as they call it out there, they've got to throw at a target just like that. They've got to throw a Frisbee. So they've got to make a robot that can throw a Frisbee. That's a challenge right there. How do you make a robot that can throw a Frisbee? But that's what we want to challenge our kids and work with them on. We've got some kids that were in there Saturday, the new team that we're starting, and they were into, I was really impressed. They looked serious. They were thinking. They had their thinking caps on. And all this happens on a Saturday from 12:30 to 2:30 when some kids are out just playing or still watching television or playing video games. We've got some young people in here that are working on the future and having a great time while they're doing it. So if you want to get your child involved in the VEX or Lego Robotics program, contact the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. We're located at 4501 East Linwood in Kansas City, Missouri. or contact us, KUAW Radio and the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. You can give us a call on the number that's been going across on your screen, 816-599-6893. That's 816-599-6893. Contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. Say you want to get involved in our robotics program. We'll be glad to talk with you about it, give you some information. You can bring your child by, or you can come by and see how the program works and how we're working with young people. And you might want to get involved yourself. We're always looking for volunteers, too. And you don't have to have a science or engineering background. You can learn as you go. That's one thing. As we went to the KC STEM Alliance, our coaches this year, she's brand new, hadn't worked with this before and stuff, but they've got people that you can work with. She went to a couple of coaching councils or meetings and, take off with it. You can do it. So if you want to come in and learn how to coach kids in robotics so that you may want to start your own robotics team, contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. Give us a call, 816-599-6893. Talk to us about it. We'll be glad to talk with you about robotics, your child or yourself. We're always looking for volunteers to help us out. I was telling a lady just this weekend that she asked, well, how it was going? I said, it's going pretty good. She said, well, you want to get more kids? I said, yeah, we want to get more kids, but we also need more volunteers because you've got to have people to work with the kids. So if you get 10 or 12 kids in a room working on robots, it's good to have a couple of adults in the room with them to make sure that, somebody doesn't do something they shouldn't be doing, or to answer their questions and keep them focused on the work at hand. So we can use volunteers, and like I say, no experience necessary. Come down, help us out. The Black Family Technology Awareness Association is open to all people. We don't discriminate on race, sex, age, anything like that. So if you come and you want to help, we're ready to take you in, and you can help us with working with our kids and making a difference. Also, as I said, you want to remember the We Development Credit Union. Make sure that you stay in touch with them. December the 15th, construction is to be finished, and they'll be open their doors. So if you want to be one of the first depositors, or you might want to be the first depositor in line when they open up, that you put your money in there first. Get in touch with them. It's going to be a great thing. It's always great when new businesses open in the community, especially a positive business, a business that can bring positive help, positive sustainability to the community. And that's what we need, is more positive businesses that can help out the community. We don't need a whole lot more liquor stores. But one thing we do need is businesses that will hire people and bring a positive influence on the area. And I was talking with a gentleman. There's a lot of construction going on 350 Highway from where the old Swope Parkway Shopping Center was, and Zion Grove Missionary or Zion Grove Church. All of that's being redeveloped. I don't know exactly what the master plan is, but those are things that we need to look at, is what kind of development's going in. And we need to go to meetings and see about, you can sometimes you're not a builder or anything, but they have advisory committees. They look for community input as they get ready to do a lot of things. And people say, well, nobody asked us about it. Well, you've got to go down and get involved. And that's something that we should do, get involved in things that are going on in your community so that you can say, yeah, I had some input on it. They're going to be doing this. And it may be a positive thing, but when people are running around thinking, well, nobody asked us, they didn't tell us, we don't know what's going on, that almost seems like somebody's sneaking stuff in on you. And a lot of times it's not about that, but it's about us being involved in the community to know what's happening. And those of you that are involved, you need to let the community know things that are going on. One way you could do that, contact KUAW Radio. Yeah, we have a lot of talk shows on here, and we broadcast to the community because this is our community also. So we broadcast to the community things that are happening in the community. So if you have some information that you would like to get out about a project that you're working on, that you're building, of something that's getting ready to open, or something that you need some input from the community on, be sure and contact KUAW Radio. You see our website, KUAW.org. You can email us at KUAW985@gmail.com. You can also contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, and you can email us there at BFTAA@sbcglobal.net. So there's ways to get in touch. You can hit our phone line. You can hit us up on Facebook or email. You can text us, send an instant messenger, anything. We like to get information out about what's happening in the community. I also want you to know we've got a lot of good shows on here that you can listen to. Yes. B. Michael with Shifting Paradigms is on every first and third Monday. Does a great show. You need to make sure that you're in touch, that you come in and listen to those shows. Also, we have shows from Wave Your Grades with Carl Boyd. Senior Moments, for those of us that may be a little more mature, Senior Moments is on every Tuesday with cooking and information for the city. Mainly does a lot of different recipes and healthy food tips and some not so healthy food things, but good for you. So it's always good to be in touch with Senior Moments. And we have Street Therapy. We have Truth Be Told, a source of the Inkwell that's also joined with the Raytown Middle School Broadcast Club. We have Lene Gray. There are a lot of shows here. We've got a sports show that's been going on for about 3-4 weeks now, Any Given Sunday. So if you're into sports, tune in on Thursday. They'll be right here Thursday at 6 o'clock, and we'll talk about the Chiefs and what they did and some predictions, and also all other things around the league. Plus, as the World Series is coming up, we've been getting a lot. Coach 24 actually was involved, was a college player. I don't know that he played in the pros any, but has got a lot of baseball background. So he comes on, and as it's getting into it's in the playoffs, but moving toward the World Series, you can get a lot of insight, a lot of information by listening to Any Given Sunday. That's on Thursday at 6 o'clock right here at KUAW Radio. Of course, you can also listen to my show and Cognitions. You want to make sure that you check them out. Cognition, Speaking the Unspeakable, talking about mental health and mental keeping yourself, what do I want to say, mentally fit, those type of things. Well, we've got a couple of practitioners that come in, and they talk every Thursday at 2 o'clock. So every Thursday at 2 o'clock, you can check that out. And for some relaxation and enjoying yourself, be sure and check out Professor Smooth Jazz, who's on Thursday evening. He have his show on at 5 o'clock. We're going to be moving that to 6. And then we also run his show again at 2 in the morning and I think at 9 at night. So you got 3 chances to hear Professor Smooth Jazz. And you can check out our Blues on the weekend with Rosine Bailey and Blues Time in the City. So that's on Saturday and Sunday. Get some blues right here. We've got other old school jams that are on. We have the Heavy Storm, Quiet Storm that's on Tuesday night. You'll be able to get it tomorrow night, and you'll also be able to get it Friday night. So if you like to mellow out your week and get ready for that weekend, listen to Heavy Storm, Quiet Storm. You get some of those jams that are just kind of good to listen to and stuff. So we got a lot of things here at KUAW Radio, and we're constantly bringing more on. So get in touch with us, stay in tune with us, and keep listening to KUAW Radio, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom in Kansas City, Missouri. That's us for the day. We'll see you next week on the BFTAA and More Show. This is Louis George Walker signing off, and we are so glad that you're listening to KUAW, Kansas City's global community radio station. See you next week.